The matchups are now set for Kentucky's general election in November, and that includes the race for governor.
Both races were called really early for each party just before 7 o'clock last night. Now, Jim is joining us live in the studio to go over some of those results. Jim, good morning.
Well, good morning, Haley and Eric. Yes, we have been talking for weeks about the crowded Republican field, but when push came to shove, that crowded field really didn't have the effect that you thought it might. It didn't really divide the vote, make things a lot closer during this race. Daniel Cameron ended up running away with it, 48% of the Republican vote, and he got the nomination. Now, Cameron led in the polls all the way through election night, and at the end of the day, he just increased his lead over the rest of the pack. During his victory speech here in Louisville, he wasted no time in crediting former President Donald Trump, who endorsed Cameron over the likes of Kelly Craft, who actually worked in the Trump administration. And he also shifted the focus to his opponent in the November general election, Governor Andy Beshear.
He's content to preside over the abandonment of our inner cities and the desolation of our rural communities. Now, the governor during this election will try to take credit for things done by our Republican legislature, but no amount of window dressing will absolve him of his actual record.
Now, the governor won his primary in runaway fashion. Beshear pulled in 91% of the Democratic vote, with Jeff Young as his nearest competitor, garnering just 5%. And while Cameron delivered an attack-minded message in his speech, Beshear told people at his victory party this next election should have a focus on the future of Kentucky and Kentuckians.
The days that I've been governor haven't been easy. The last 4 years have been tough on all of us, but we are coming out of it with more hope and opportunity than ever before. I want to make sure we realize that, because this should all be about our kids, our grandkids, and building them an incredible future.
Now, Beshear is not waiting long to kick off his campaign, with events starting this weekend, and that includes stops here in Louisville on Sunday afternoon. He'll be at his local campaign office on Baxter Avenue at 12:30 before heading over to the Palm Room on West Jefferson Street at 1:30. Both of those events are going to be open to the public. No word yet on any events planned for Daniel Cameron's campaign, but we are now turning our eyes towards that general election coming up in November. Eric, Haley?
Jim, thank you so much. Let's go over some of the other races. In the race for auditor, current state treasurer Republican Allison Ball won her primary. She'll face Democrat Kimberly Reeder, who was unopposed. This is going to be Kentucky's first new auditor since 2016.
In the race to replace Ball as treasurer, Mark Metcalf earned the Republican nomination, beating out two other opponents. He's going to take on Democrat Michael Bowman in November. Bowman ran unopposed.
Now, one race has been set since before the primary election. That's the Kentucky Attorney General's race. Democratic State Representative Pamela Stevenson from Louisville is going to face former U.S. Attorney Republican Russell Coleman for the position. Both secured their party's nominations back in January after the filing deadline. We've got all the results of the primary races and the winners. For the full list, head to WHAS11.com.